I do. Look at me. I look more Mexican than Navajo. I've been told
You
that
don't
too.
look like any Mexicans I know.
In there, I did. Look
Right
at
there,
that.
look at that Mexican guy.
That's you.
Habla español.
No inglés. But yeah, that's what I've been told before too. That I look like a Mexican.
You don't look like a Mexican with those ribbons in your hair. You look kind of Samoan or Tahitian or something.
Yeah, that's true. Those big? Yeah, those Hawaiians are Samoans, right? They're big guys.
It's kind of like Navajo people, some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at that girl. She was a big girl over at the mission. When I was walking, I was like, whoa.
Come here, big girl.
Really? Because most Navajo girls are just tiny, petite little things. Some of them are just huge and small. And this one was a big girl.
She's tall. Yeah.
My niece is like that.
She's nice too.
Gary's daughter.
Uh-huh.
She's tall. She's lanky when she walks. She knows she
Walks funny because she's pretty.
she's intimidating when she walks. And
Somebody
Craig-
told me that when I think I'm pretty, I walk funny.
Maybe that's me. I started walking like
Thank
a
God I
giraffe.
don't think I'm pretty very often. I'd be walking funny all the time.
Craig was really intimidated by her. Hi, Kelly. You know. But she could have been a model. To be honest, she could have. She's tall. She was supposed to go back. She was taken in by West Point. She got accepted. First girl there. And everything was planned. Gary just got her set up and everything. And a boy came into her life.
Look at what boys do.
Destroyed it all.
Goddamn
He
boys.
destroyed it. She fell so in love with him that she gave up everything. Her school. She was supposed to go to West Point, learn how to be an engineer, and she would have been raking in the megabooks. And
Blew it.
now she's a cook.
How many girls' lives did you ruin, Erin?
Probably about 2. Seriously, I did. Do you remember Stalker, Barbara? Oh, God, her. She goes, you ruined my life. Look what you did to me. She was stalking me at bars when I was with Pamela. And we'd be sitting there. She comes in. She'd be looking in the window like this. I see you in there. And Pamela like, oh, my God. She followed us here. And we book it out there. We run. And when I got home, she was waiting underneath the stairs. I was staggering up because Pam got me really drunk. It's a good thing she hauled my bike home.
She didn't have a knife or anything.
Really, I was walking. Where were you? Where have you been? I've been waiting for you. She parked on the other side of the building not to see her car.
So you couldn't see your car.
And she was mad.
That's
and I was like,
stalker
I
scary.
said, you need to leave. I said, why are you following me? I sobered up real quick, went up the stairs. I got in my car. I slammed the door. She was kicking it, hitting. I thought she was going to bust the window. And my neighbor, Dave, came out and says, get the hell out of here. I'll call the cops on you. And she went, fuck you all, go to hell. And she took off.
Never came back.
And when I left Sandstone, that was a relief because I got away from her and everything. She followed me to Shiprock.
Whoa.
My cousin Brian was getting married to this loony woman from Kayenta. On his wedding day was just sandstorm. The ugliest day you can imagine of his wedding. Well, his wife or his future wife was her best friend Shar. And so she invited her to go to the wedding. But Shar knew through my cousin that I lived in Shiprock. So her and her mom went beyond the wedding to go to Shiprock. But on their way, they had a car breakdown. Well, this guy, Herman Buck, that runs a towing service, just raped them of their money. This is going to cost you this is going to cost you that. Well, is there anybody else who's 30 miles more further up to get to a real mechanic and everything? So he just milked them of all their money, and I guess somehow they got somebody to fix the car enough to where they got back out of there and they headed back. So
did they make it to? No, they didn't make it to the wedding.
They did.
They did. But
they went further on afterwards to try to find me, her and her mother. And I'm like, oh my God, shotgun wedding.
The gods were on your side.
Oh yeah. So that was the last time I ever heard of it, but that was scary.
Scary women.
And then the one from North Dakota, the one I was telling you about.
Yeah, trying to get you into the plains and into a teepee.
See, she was what, 30, 31 years old? Well, Actually, she was 29. I was 32. I was like 3 years older than her.
I always liked 28-year-olds, and it didn't matter how old I was.
But see, she was too aggressive and she wanted to settle down, be a family, do everything. And I wasn't ready for that. I
You
didn't
never
want
were
it.
ready
I
for that.
never- I
You ran
still-
from all of
I'm
them.
still not ready.
That's
I did.
funny.
I was telling Bob that. I said, I ruined so many relations. I said, I can't get married.
I'm just a heartbreaker.
Well, I'm selfish with my life. That's what it is. I just don't want to give it up. And my mom still gets mad at me. Why can't you just have one child? You know what she said? Okay, this is what happened. We were sitting there. Some movie came on. Oh, I forgot the name of it, but it was a Chinese movie and Japanese movie. We were watching, and she looked at me. She goes, "You should have married a Japanese woman." You know, I looked at her. I was like, "What?" She goes, "They're real pretty little kids." You know, their eyes were like this. I was like, "What?" She goes, "Imagine if it was a Navajo and a Japanese mixed in, what we would have."
Cute little babies.
You would have cute little Chinese babies. And I said, "Mom," I said, "these people eat bugs." She would be your daughter-in-law. She would be cooking you bats, lizards, bugs. She goes, whack, whack. You know, she's so grossing out. I said, "It'd probably be boiling the dead dog along the road. And you wouldn't even know what she's serving on a stick." I said, "You'd be eating roadkill, Mom. You wouldn't even know it." And she was just
Now
laughing.
that's very stereotyped of you.
Oh, well, but you don't know half of what the meats are when you're eating it.
That's
It's just
true. But
coated
that's just
with
because
all
you don't
kind of
speak
shit.
Japanese.
It's just coated with all kinds of stuff you don't even know.
The French use sauces like that too to
Mm.
hide all kinds of goose livers and things. So you don't really know what you're jumping into.
Do you remember that guy? He's bald headed. He's real chubby. I forgot his name. He travels all over the world eating weird stuff, bugs, lizards.
There are a couple of
everything.
guys doing that, on
Yeah.
TV.
He eats anything.
I
You
don't know.
dare him. He went into this cave. He traveled a whole day to get to this little village. Then they took him down in the cave and they were out there whacking those bats, killing them. They killed like 5, brought them out, built a fire, threw them on the fire, and they were just like shushing them around with the stick, burning the hair off the wings. Because they're just charred black little things.
Little
and he's like-
mice.
and he's just like breaking it and eating it.
Hey, they say people who can eat anything will survive.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the ones who say, "I'm sorry, I'm in the jungle. There's only one thing to eat. It's these big fat white worms. I'm gonna die because they're not going in my mouth."
I've seen people trying to eat them.
Yeah. So the
It just
survivors,
grows them chewing on
the
it.
survivors will eat that worm.
Well, if I married a Chinese or Japanese, I'd be the survivor too, eating bugs and everything.
She'd probably be grossed out over the mutton
Mutton.
on.
She'd probably die if I butchered in front of her. I remember Leonard's wife when he first married her. My mom was really adamant about her learning how to do everything in the house, around the house, how to take care of a man. Well, my sisters always helped my mom butcher, and my mom's always the one that cut the goat's throat. I've never done that. I've never have. I helped butcher, cut the skin off. I've never slit. My mom
Actually
always
took the life.
My mom always did. It was nothing to her. She'd put the log
Old-fashioned
under
people.
the neck, and
It's before there was a Fry's or a Safeway or an Albertson supermarket on the
Well,
reservation.
she was a butcher at the trading post, so she
Okay.
butchered like 40 sheets per day.
Okay.
She wore this big apron like the butcherer.
Uh-huh.
Scary. She'd stand there just cutting meat all
Is
day.
that why your father left?
No, he died.
Oh, he died.
He died. He passed away at 37. I was telling Bob about that. I
So
said,
how old was she when she was being butchered?
she was about 23, 24.
So,
No, she was about 30, I think, because she had me. I was the last one at 33 years of age.
uh-huh.
So I remember we used to pick her up at the slaughterhouse.
So
in
maybe she was
Baptist.
35 or 36?
But I remember her butchering the sheep, and she'd come out with this apron full of blood all over. And
Mhm.
she used to get the gizzard, the liver, the cheek, the
The
intestines.
pieces other people didn't want?
She'd take them home. She'd throw 3 hearts in the boiling water, and we used to eat. I love that to this day. I eat the heart of the sheep.
Mhm.
That's
Anything
salt.
we're raised on is what we love.
I eat everything, but except the head. I won't do the head. My nephew, Verlene's son, he eats the eyeballs.
Oh,
He
yeah.
eats the tongue. him and my other nephew, they'll scarf those.
Fighting over the
"Ew."
face. Give me that face.
Yeah, I'll eat everything else, but the head I won't.
That face can't look at me. I can't eat.
Pull the eye out. Ooh. But yeah, Verlene's sons, they call it a it's like this craving, this psycho craving for mutton. You kill for it, that feeling. He has that. My mom, when he was a little baby, when he was just born, barely walking, we used to butcher. My mom would be butchering, and then she'll throw a slab of rib on this side and some cheese on this side, and cook everything. And then my sister would get in there, make some dough. Verlene and those guys, they were all making dough and everything. And he would be around her.
Stand right next to
And yeah,
waiting
and
for the food.
she'd take a chunk of that meat and give it to him. And then she'd throw the sheep head in the fire while the meat's cooking and everything. So then when she took it out, she just tapped it with a stick and got all the hair off. And then she set it on the table to cool, and then he'll be over there picking on the eye. And she's like, here, not, and she'd pull the eye out, give it to him, he'd eat it.
People in America didn't used to, when my father's mother came from England, they didn't used to eat the insides of animals really in America much, at least not in the city where she was. So she went to the butcher store and didn't have very much money to buy meat like other people were buying, and she would make like mince meat pies so that it would go further, what little she could buy. And she heard some lady say, could you give me the kidneys and the liver for my dog? And so the guy was giving her kidneys and liver, and she didn't have to pay for them. They were free for her dog. So my grandmother said, I've got some dogs at home. And so she'd go like every other day or whatever to get more kidneys and liver for the dog. And they were started eating well because nobody charged for that meat in those days. And then they caught up with it and started charging for it. But suddenly they were eating well.
This little boy, he grew up on mutton through my mom. And he craves it certain times, just like blood, I guess, a vampire. He just
goes
wants
across the city to.
And when there's a birthday party or dinner or something, somebody will butcher or bring mutton stew or roast mutton.
He's right there next to the fire.
And my mom gets mad at Verlene. Why don't you bring him some meat? Get him a leg of lamb or something. She gets on her because Verlene will not eat mutton. Her and her husband and the rest of the kids, they won't eat. It's just him. And my mom knows that. So my mom, every time she gets paid, she'll buy her like a rib or a leg or something. And she'll cook it outside with green chili and tortillas and everything. He smells it a mile away. He's right, there. And my mom's like, here, she knows he wants. And that's the whole purpose was for him.
Until your sister takes the grill away.
Yeah.
But you're hiding it at your house now, right?
But I told her, I said, every time you want to cook out, I'll bring it over. I'll have Craig call it over. But she trusts me. She knows I'm honest about what I do for her.
And go back.
I'm the only one she trusts. She doesn't trust Gary to take her to debate, to do her business, relieved to take her grocery shopping. It's me. All the time it's me.
I can't imagine all of my brothers and sisters coming by Mom's house and all of us just walking away with stuff every once in a while.
Oh,
I can't imagine that. That would be so mean.
It is. I mean, I even said to her, I said, God, Mom, they treat me like you died and already went,
Yeah, that's really nice. I'm taking it home.
And mine is like that. She's just a hillbilly, greedy Navajo.
Hillbilly, greedy Navajo. That's me.
She is.
She threw a nice wedding.
Oh, yeah.
That I went to.
That was her in-laws that threw the.
Oh,
they brought the sheep and everything.
Everything.
That guy.
Wasn't there a cow too?
I think so.
There was a steer because I was eating beef.
She gave the dad a bracelet, turquoise bracelet, the mom a squash balls and stuff like that. And then in return, he gave her. No, she supplied the sheep and the cow, and they supplied the jewelry to her. So this woman has jewelry. But I told my mom, I said, why would she hoard all that stuff? I've known a woman who looked poor in public. I mean, just nothing. No jewelry, nothing. Plain Jane. But when these song and dance, squad dance come up, she is
She rocks the bling.
She rocks on the turquoise everywhere, even on her trim on her glasses.
Whoa.
The hair clips,
Wow.
everything. The bun back here with the clip is turquoise and silver with the stick
The
with
stick
the
through it, yeah.
with the
With a
turquoise
stone
and
on the end of it.
silver. Yeah, everything. My mom was shocked one time. She's like, "That's her." Well, this woman hoarded a whole case like that, big, a little bit bigger than that,
Uh-huh.
in her house.
Just full.
Every jewelry you could imagine, bracelets, everywhere.
I can understand it
Yeah.
though, because
But-
I love silver and
But
turquoise.
see, she died. The sisters, being traditional, they knew the consequences. So they're like, the granddaughter, my uncle's son, adopted son's daughter, she inherited all of it. They're like, here, go ahead and take it. And she did. She took it home. Her mom was all happy. She inherited that. Every friggin' night, this woman checked on her jewelry.
Yeah,
She would come there
made her
and
worry about it.
she'd make noise, move things around. We're like, Mom, something's in my room. It got so bad after a year, she just threw
Gave it
back.
away?
She gave it back to the family.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
and
I'm
we're
interviewing
playing
him.
on it. She put this thing on my head and she put a wig
Oh
on.
yeah.
Show them that picture. Show
Come
'em
in
the
here,
picture.
Craig, so we can see you. This is
Yeah.
Craig.
Hi.
He's
Are
visiting
you on the
too.
phone with somebody?
Yeah, no.
Video
Okay, so
conference call?
yeah, no.